All right. Anybody have an oil story for the week? I'm going to share one really quick while you're thinking. At dinner tonight, I put the pan down and said to the 2-year-old, "It's hot, don't touch." It was still within her reach, but she knows, and I've done it many times, and she doesn't touch. And about 30 seconds later, she's going, we couldn't figure out. And I'm like, "Did you touch it?" And so I ran and got the lavender and I just poured it on her fingers, and she just calmed right down and she ate her dinner. And I said, "Cora, how did your hand feel at the end of dinner?" And she went, fine. She was just fine. She talks a lot, so she really understood me. But her mom was so surprised, and it was really good. It was really good that it was so quick and so helpful. So anybody have an oil story they'd like to share?
I do. We did fireworks on the 4th of July at our house, and we had what could have been a catastrophe. So we had my daughter and her husband down from Lake Worth, where I was staying there watching their house for a couple of weeks while they were up in Utah camping. And my son and his wife and my two grandchildren, and my daughter and her husband and her stepson were all here. So we had big and friends visiting. We had a bunch of people here doing fireworks, and one of the fireworks misfired. So it was one of those boxes that shoots off all the ones in the air, big, beautiful displays and all. And it shot at us. And my one daughter was holding my youngest granddaughter in her lap, and she ended up curling around her like this to protect her. Yeah. And it blew up right under their chair. And luckily she was in one of our metal chairs and she couldn't hear. It ended up burning the bottoms of my daughter's legs. And she's the one that had come from Utah. She doesn't have any kids, but she was like protecting her niece with her body. And she got burned on her legs and just really tensing up to protect her. So that ended our fireworks for the night. Everybody went home. So I brought her in. I put the lavender and all on her legs, and I took the aromatherapy and just started massaging her. And then I took melaleuca oil on the back of her ear because she couldn't hear, and started rubbing that along her ear and jawline because it hurt so bad. She was able to just relax, calm down. The pain went away in her ear. The ringing went away in her ear. The burning on her leg. She was like, "Mom, this is great." And her tension and all in her neck just, so I was like, from what could have been
so much worse. So much.
That was great. She was like, okay, because she's going to do the study in August. She's an assistant principal up in Lake Worth up there, actually in Fort Worth. She's an assistant principal. So she's going to do the study. I've been trying to get her to do the study, and she's like, okay, I really need to check these out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Fantastic. Anybody else have a story they want to share? Heather, welcome. Glad you're here. Marilyn, glad you're here. Any other stories for the week? Jolene?
I'll do a quick one. Just today, I've started doing the aroma touch on people this week. And I had a lady there today, and earlier today I thought, oh, maybe I'll put the EO technique in the room where I'm doing it, just in case it might be needed today. And one of the ladies this afternoon, she says, after we got finished with it, she says, "Do you still do the EO technique?" And I go, "Well, yeah, it happens to be right here. Do you want to process some emotions?" And she says, "No, but I need to." And we just had a long, good conversation, didn't realize how she was feeling. And she picked the couple of oils to do. And, you know, the 10 seconds that it takes you to process the emotions, she was just crying. She says, "I knew that would happen." And then she, just to follow up, she says, "I was feeling abandoned. And as I did this, I was assured that Heavenly Father hadn't abandoned me."
Oh,
that He is there. And it's just like, that's why we do it, is to bring that kind of comfort and relief to people, and in such a fast, powerful way. So that was total win for me too.
Okay, so you were doing aroma touch therapy on her, but she wanted to do the emotional EO, essential oil technique, where you do the oils here.
Yeah, so I did, you know, the aroma touch.
Yeah.
I do that. But I have the emotion stuff there too, because I plan on using both of them.
That
And
is
she
awesome.
asked for it. So
That is awesome. Oh, what a wonderful way to serve her. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Anybody else have something they want to share? Okay, we're going to turn time over to Tamara, but first I want to tell you the little bit I know about Tamara. She's been such a stranger in my life lately. I don't know much, but she is a lover of oils. She's a very good teacher. She has an adorable baby who is how old?
7 months.
7 months old. Oh my goodness, 7 months old, probably scooting around by now.
Mhm.
Little girl and Ember.
Mhm.
Ember. And when I met Tamara, she had Mary Kay on her mind. That was what she was into. And I remember thinking when I very first met her that she was going to love the oils and be good. I don't know why, but I thought it, but it still took me probably a year or two from that time to get her involved with the oils. And once she did, she was really ready to go and is so good at using them, knowing what they're good for, and sharing them. We're lucky to have her as a teacher tonight. And meditation is not something I take time to do very often. So I'm excited to learn some techniques, and we'll turn time to you tomorrow.
All right. So meditation is also something I wish I did more, and learning a little bit more about it and different techniques and things that you can use. It definitely made me more excited to be doing it a little bit more often. But meditation is the habitual process of refocusing your mind and redirecting your thoughts and just training your brain to process your thoughts in a specific way. It's been around forever. Some of the earliest accounts of it are from like 5000 BC. It's come across multiple countries. You see it in China, India, ancient Egypt, and it's tied to a lot of different religions like Buddhism, Judaism, and Hinduism, just to name a couple of them. But there's plenty more religions that use it, and you don't have to be tied to any of those religions in order to practice meditation. The purpose of meditation is to stop or still your mind. Even if your thought process is a productive thought process, meditating can help you bring focus to those thoughts and redirect them onto a better path if they're not quite at that productive point yet. There's a lot of benefits to meditating, and a lot of them have scientific backing too. And some of those I'm going to go through tonight. The first one is the biggest benefit that people contribute to meditating, and it can kind of snowball into a lot of the other ones that I'm going to talk about too. But the most common benefit that people list when they meditate is reduced stress. The act of just either giving your time to wander. There's a couple of different ways that you can meditate. One of them is to let your mind wander, and giving yourself the space to let your mind do whatever it wants to do can be very freeing, be very therapeutic, and help you work through a lot of things. But also clearing your mind can also reduce a lot of that stress. And that's just going to snowball into other things like better sleep, which will like reduce fatigue, can lower blood pressure, give you more focused thinking. It can be very therapeutic for depression and anxiety, and can actually do a lot for stress-related conditions like IBS, PTSD, and fibromyalgia that have things like stress-induced inflammation that can pull a lot of that away from that when you're being able to calm that stress level down. So like one of those things we talked about was controls anxiety. Meditation is a great coping mechanism for anxiety, especially if you combine it with like positive affirmations or yoga. Those are the types of things that are really going to not just give you the coping mechanism for it, but give yourself a way to release a lot of the anxiety. And there's a lot of emotional health benefits to meditating. You can have an improved self-image, a more positive outlook on life, being able to go through this thought process of calming your mind, figuring out why you think the things that you're thinking, what makes you go down certain paths, and turning them into something more positive can definitely help with the emotional health. That's what's really going to help with like depression and things like that. It's going to enhance your self-awareness because you're developing a better understanding of yourself, and that can lead to just growing into your best self, giving your time to connect with your higher self, and finding out, especially through methods like self-inquiry meditation,
And that's where you're really going to look within to understand yourself, how you relate to those around you, why you do certain things the way that you do, why you think the things that you think about yourself and about your situation, and learning to recognize your harmful and self-defeating thought patterns. That's really going to become, that awareness is really going to become one of those ways that you can start to see those patterns as they start or before they happen, and help you to redirect them into a more positive way. And as you do that, you're going to also get a more creative problem solving skills, because you start to remove those limiting beliefs, because you recognize that thought pattern, you're going to stop it, and you're going to start working around ways that are like blocks for you. So you're just going to take those blocks apart, kind of really work through them. And because you're not allowing yourself to think like, nope, can't do it, this is too hard, this isn't working, I don't know what to do next, you're working around it and coming up with more creative ways to solve your problems. And then those problems aren't going to be blocks for you anymore. You can lengthen your attention span through meditation. Meditating is basically weightlifting for your attention span. As you practice refocusing your thoughts through meditation, it's really going to increase that strength and an endurance for your attention span. So as you improve your attention span, you're also going to improve your accuracy when you're using the knowledge that you're gaining from improving your attention, which is definitely going to help with like creating more time in your day. So even though you're taking time out of your day to meditate, you're going to end up creating more time in your day because you're getting a better attention span. And it can actually reverse the brain patterns that contribute to mind wandering, worrying, and those poor attention skills. And just a few minutes a day can, over the course of several weeks, start to produce results in that area. You're going to see a lot of reduced age-related memory loss. So by improving your attention and clear thinking, you're really keeping your mind young, you're keeping your mind moving. And when you add things into your meditation, like repetitive mantras and like fine motor skill movements as part of your meditation, you are keeping those neural pathways open and firing. So that's keeping those going in your brain and just keeping them strong and moving. You can actually generate kindness in your life, for yourself, for others, in your environment, because as you increase your positive feelings and actions towards yourself, you're going to increase those towards others. So you develop those kind thoughts and feelings, and it's going to spill over into kindness and forgiveness for those around you, because as you're increasing compassion towards yourself, it's going to increase unnatural compassion for others. And that one has a very direct correlation to meditation. So the more you meditate, the easier and the faster those types of results are going to happen. So as you continue to grow that understanding of yourself and of others, it's just going to be felt all around you.
I wonder if you could get kids that are anger prone to meditate. I don't know how to help them meditate, but I'm thinking, boy, if they could be kinder, maybe that would.
So with kids, a lot of times you're going to use like guided meditation with them and continue to refocus. It's not going to last as long as an adult might meditate, but even just a few minutes, it's going to help them process those emotions and then help them recognize it moving forward. And then, and especially if you're doing it as a guided meditation, the person who's doing that with them is going to also be seeing those triggers as they happen and things like that, and be able to talk them through it. Like, well, remember when we talked about this, remember how we do this, remember how we think about breathing this way, or things like that. And it's just going to really help as a tool for a caretaker or a parent to help kids through all of that. You're actually seeing a lot more meditation in, like, some schools are taking it on as part of like, or class, like certain teachers will do it with their kids. And you'll just see it a lot as parents are doing it now, even like young kids spending a few minutes.
Even in preschool.
Yeah.
Really?
And even just like positive affirmation meditation, where they're just sitting there reading positive affirmation after positive affirmation and having the kids repeat it back to them, and just building that positivity. It's still a form of meditation, and it's really beneficial for kids.
Awesome.
So meditation can also help in fighting addictions. The mental discipline that meditation takes can really help in breaking down dependencies, and it increases your self-control and awareness of triggers for addictive behaviors as they happen, to be able to see as you're kind of falling into those holes, before you get too far down the road, it'll help you back them up and give you that self-control to step away from those addictions. And this can also help to control food cravings, especially for emotional eaters or binge eaters. It's the same things, just the same, like following those lines of addiction, just moving down and recognizing those steps before you get to them. It will improve your sleep. It helps you stay asleep longer, and it can help you, you can actually use meditation to fall asleep, because it's going to control those runaway thoughts, and it's going to relax your body as you're going into the stages of sleep and help you get to sleep faster. You can use meditation to help control pain. So the perception of pain is connected to your state of mind. So as you are experiencing higher levels of stress, your pain levels are also going to increase. So as you reduce the stress through meditation, that can help with the pain, and you'll also have a greater ability to cope with the pain, and reduce like those stress-induced like inflammation pains and things like that. And overall, you'll actually see, like in tests and studies that they've done, there's actually reduced pain sensations in the people who are practicing meditation regularly. You can decrease blood pressure, and that's high blood pressure reduces. So it's by reducing the high blood pressure, you're going to reduce the strain on the heart. High blood pressure leads to like poor heart function, can even cause like heart attacks and strokes. But meditation was going to relax the nerve signals that coordinate the heart function, your blood vessel tension, and your fight or flight response. So being able to control all of those things is going to help reduce your stress levels, especially in the moment when you're feeling a lot of stress and you start to feel overwhelmed. Taking a moment to step back and practice a meditation is going to help bring that fight or flight response back down and help you relax yourself and prevent yourself from getting into those high blood pressure stages. But one of the best things about meditation is that it's accessible anywhere and to anyone. So you don't have to have any special tools. You don't have to go through any huge steps or processes. You can just be sitting in like your office at your desk and realize that you're having a moment and step back and take some time to meditate. You can add it into your regular schedule, whether you want to meditate in the morning, take a break in the afternoon, meditate in the evening. If there is, you want to meditate in your car after some crazy shopping or something like that that got you riled up, you can do it anytime, anywhere. You're going to find methods that work better for you, but anyone can do it, and it can be tailored to suit your needs. There's a lot of different types of meditation, and being able to kind of play around with different ones and finding the ones that you like and what resonates really well with you is going to help you to where you can do it anywhere and anytime. You can use visualization meditation, where you'll do, and that's like where you'll see people visualizing light. A lot of times they'll visualize light around them in different colors, or like growing and shrinking to kind of match their breathing. You can visualize waves washing over you. You can visualize, some people like to visualize like rain falling onto them and washing away negativity, and then pouring down in positivity. There's a lot of different things you can do with visualization. You can do that a lot with manifestation meditation. So you'll visualize what it is you're wanting to obtain or what it is you're wanting to achieve. And through that meditation, you're seeing how you're going to claim it for yourself. You're seeing the process of getting there, or you're just seeing yourself in that moment and affirming to yourself that that's where you're going to be, and creating that positive energy within you. You can do sound healing with meditation. So that's where you're going to see a lot of things like bells, drums, like the singing bowls, or some people will use tuning forks, because there's some studies that are being done to talk about specific frequencies can help with certain things. So the tuning forks can do that, and you can even do that with, like, there's apps you can get that will play the frequency. You don't have to go get a whole bunch of tuning forks. You can do guided meditations, which are super easy. Those, like, you can pull those up on like YouTube. Lots of apps have those already loaded for you and ready to go. And you just basically listen to the person talking to you and follow the steps that they're giving you. That one is definitely very beginner friendly. Then there's mantra meditation, and that's where you're going to have a list of mantras that you're going to repeat to yourself over and over again through your course of meditation, and keeping your thoughts focused on it and clearing everything else out until you really believe the things that you're saying to yourself. There's movement meditation. So those are going to be the ones where like the one we were talking about with like memory, you'll see things like fine motor movements that people are doing to go along with their meditation. Sometimes they repeat a mantra for each different fine motor movement that they do. Movement meditation is also seen in yoga. You can incorporate yoga into movement meditation. And then there's mindfulness meditation. That's what most people think of when they think of meditation. So it's going to be really trying to clear your mind and be really aware of where you are in your moment. And one of the biggest things to remember when you're doing any type of meditation is those are just like some very general bubbles that you can put into meditation. You can go down lists and lists and lists of all the different types, all these different methods. You can develop your own method of meditation, whatever works for you. That's going to make it something simple and easy for you to do. Some people like to go all out. Some people might be sitting in the same room with you and you will have no idea that they're even meditating. So, you find what works best for you, and it's going to take practice. Meditation is a skill to be honed. So it's not something that you're just going to sit down and do it and all of a sudden like, yep, I did that. That's what meditation feels like. It takes practice. Each step is going to take practice. Some days what works for you every time is totally not going to work, and you're going to have to try something different to be able to get into that meditative state. But some of the things that you can do as part of that meditation practice is kind of create your ambiance, whatever's going to work for you. So you can first and foremost always make sure you're safe wherever you're meditating, because when you meditate, you do kind of close out the rest of the world a little bit. So make sure, you're not going to want to go meditate in a field full of tall grass and not be paying attention to what kind of maybe not so nice critters are around you and things like that. If you're doing something in a public place or something like that, just make sure you're in a safe location. And then you can play around with other things. Some people like to meditate alone in a room. Some people like to meditate specifically in their cars because that's where they feel they get the most privacy. Some people like to meditate outside. Some people, can do it just about anywhere. But then you can also play with lighting. Some people prefer natural lighting, whether it's sunlight or moonlight. Some people prefer candles or dim lighting. Some people like total darkness. Sounds, so that's going to be like whatever works for you. Some people like music, and there's all kinds of different music that you can use, whatever resonates with you. You can use drums, you can use the bells or the meditation bowls or the singing bowls, things like the tuning forks, whatever you like. Some people prefer silence. And then of course, you can use smells. So people like to use incense or sometimes scented candles. Obviously, I prefer to use oils. And the thing I like about oils is you can tailor them to what it is you're trying to accomplish out of that meditation session. So if you have this particular emotion that you're trying to work through, then you can use oils for that. Or if you're wanting to relax, then there's oils for that. If you're wanting to manifest something, you can tailor the oil based on what it is you're trying to manifest. If you're using meditation as a way to deal with addiction, and there's things for like oils you can use specifically for that. So being able to kind of tailor it to that is really nice. And if you're using meditation on a regular basis, you can also kind of trigger this olfactory response and olfactory memory. So as you start using the oil, it's going to help you get into that meditative state more quickly because your body's going to remember what you were trying to when you start using that oil. And then if you're using that oil like meditation for a specific purpose, being able to go back and use that oil will kind of help bring those thoughts and those feelings that you had when you were meditating to the real life instance where you're trying to apply the skills you gained from meditation.
Love that.
And then the just kind of like a basic step-by-step thing that you would do for meditation is set a timer, because it can quickly lose track of time when you're meditating. So if you're not using it to fall asleep, then set a timer so that you have something to kind of bring you out of it. There's been times when I'm thinking like, oh, like all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not sure how long it's been, and my timer will go off and it's been half an hour and I thought it had only been 5 minutes. So you definitely want to set a timer. And then you are going to sit or lie down, and you're going to ground. And there's a lot of different ways that you can ground. So you can do this with visualization. A lot of people will envision a light coming down through the top of their head, going through their body and into the ground. Some people will do that with colors as they go through the different chakras. They'll have a different color that like opens or turns on as they pass through that chakra. You can do common things that you'll actually see in a lot of meditation visualizations is a tree. So you'll envision yourself kind of as a tree, and you have the tree growing out of you, and you can envision like the leaves and everything coming down through you, and then your roots go down into the ground. I've seen visualizations of light going out of your body into the, like down through your body and into the ground through your right foot, and you're imagining all of the things inside of you that need to be given back to the earth for healing, and you envision positivity coming out of the earth that has been healed coming into your body. And there's multiple things. Some people will do tapping as a form of grounding. So you'll see tapping, you'll tap in a certain direction a certain number of times, then you'll reverse the direction and tap a certain number of times, and it can and that's something that a lot of people like because it's a small thing where you're standing in line at the grocery store and all these people are around you, and all of a sudden you're feeling kind of overwhelmed, and you just kind of like tap on your sternum and in a certain way, and it helps ground you and bring you back to that moment. And then once you feel grounded, you're going to focus on your breathing. So you will a lot of times count, and I like to count breathing in for 4 seconds and breathing out for 7 seconds. And you do that until you feel like you don't have to think about it anymore, and you're going to keep that pattern. So you'll breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, out through your mouth for 7 seconds, and you do that until it's comfortable and you feel confident that that's what you're doing. And then you start going through and relaxing your body. So you're going to start from the very top of your head all the way down to your toes. So you'll feel in your face, you'll make sure your brows aren't clenched, and then you'll feel your jaw, unclench your jaw, you bring your tongue down from the roof of your mouth, you relax your neck, you relax your shoulders, and you just keep going all the way down step by step, moving like relax your hands and your fingers, and make sure that you're not, tightening your abs, and relax your hips, like you go all the way down to the tip of your toes. And then I like to go through and kind of do it again, just because as I'm going through it the first time, I tend to start tensing up on the other parts all over again. It takes a little bit of practice for me still. And once you feel like your body's relaxed, then you can start looking into your thoughts. And there's a lot of different things that you can do with your thoughts, whether it's focusing on a specific thing, trying to keep your mind clear, or doing like letting like a free thinking space, and just kind of like letting your thoughts do whatever they're going to do and follow them and see where they end up going. A lot of people feel like that is a form of communication, either with their subconscious or with their higher self, or like with like the Holy Spirit or a deity or something like that. Anything that resonates with them, they're feeling like that's a time when they've cleared their minds of all the clutter of the world, but that's a time they can receive communications free from any of those distractions. And then once you are done meditating, then you need to reground and reintroduce yourself into the real world. So you'll reground again, and then if you just jump up and like go running and start your day, a lot of times you'll feel a little disoriented, or you'll feel a little bit dizzy or something like that, because you were like, it's basically like jumping out of a deep sleep. So you need to go through it and reground. And I like to reground backwards. So like, let's say I was doing like light with my chakras, then I'll envision, instead of envisioning from the top to the bottom turning on, I envision from the bottom up the lights turning off. So I'm kind of removing myself and slowly ending that meditative process. And then you want to kind of you're still either sitting or laying down with your eyes closed, and you think about what you can feel. So like if you're sitting, like think about what it feels like sitting in the chair. What does the fabric of the chair feel like? Or if you're laying down, what do the sheets feel like? And if you're sitting outside, what does the grass feel like on your legs? And then what can I smell? What can I hear? Kind of slowly bringing my senses back to the now. And then I slowly open my eyes when I feel ready, and kind of just take a minute to take in my environment around me before I get up and start moving around, just to kind of recenter yourself, and now to end that meditative process instead of just jumping out and breaking it off in the middle. And like I said, meditation takes practice, and it might be a really long time before you feel like you got a full meditation session out. It might take you a really long time. The first time you try to meditate, you might not even really get through grounding without being able to, without being able to turn off your thoughts. And you have to keep, you'll get halfway through and go, wait, what was I doing? And you just start back where you were or start back over, and just kind of work through the process a few times before you're really able to get anything out of it. And spending, even if you're just grounding, that's still a beneficial thing to do. And you can still lower those stress levels and still have a lot of those benefits. And then as you are able to practice that, then you'll slowly be able to, like, okay, well, I was able to get through grounding, so now I can work on breathing. And maybe the next time you only get through the breathing this time, and then have to, and then your time is up, and then and then you get through working into your body, and then you work into the fear, controlling your thoughts. And that's something that's just going to develop over time. And you're going to find as you do it that sometimes meditation means different things for you. Sometimes you need to be in the bath to meditate, and sometimes you need to be in a shower to meditate. Other times you want to be outside, or you need to be in the quiet of your room. And sometimes just taking a few minutes to ground on a crazy work day or something is going to be enough to be able to say that that's what you meditated with. But meditating is definitely something that needs to become a routine that you're practicing often and able to get the most benefit out of it. If you just do it every now and then, it's still better than not, but it is a skill that needs to be honed, and it's like working a muscle. So it's like if you work out on a regular basis, you're going to see better results than if you work out occasionally. And if you only work out occasionally, will it still benefit? Is it still better than doing nothing? Absolutely. But are you going to see the same results or be able to advance as far as you would if you were doing that on a regular basis? No. So, it's definitely something that you want to keep practicing, keep working on, and see what you're able to glean out of your time meditating as you go through the process. And you might find that, if you were to meditate tonight for the first time, what you think is going to happen, how you think you're going to be doing it's going to be different 3 months from now. And that 3 months from now is going to be different from a year from now, as you just try different things and figure out what's working best for you.
Yeah. Wow, such great information. So as somebody who has a very hard time slowing down, I even have a hard time with silence. I even say, anybody have oil stories? And I'm like, okay, nobody say anything for 5 seconds. I got to say something. I just have a hard time slowing down. And I have to say, I don't think I've ever meditated. I've had a few massages, and that's the closest I can come, because I'm laying there not doing anything, and so my mind is calm and the peaceful music and whatnot. That's probably as close as I've come to meditating. Very relaxing and very wonderful. I'm curious if anybody else does it on a regular basis. Okay.
I do
Okay.
in the morning, and I do it at night before bed.
Okay.
And it's something I think that for some people it is definitely a form of self-care, and it does take a little bit of bending your mind around it. Once you see the benefit of it, it can be a lot easier to be able to do it. But at first, being able to teach yourself that this isn't something that I am like not doing anything. It's realizing that I am doing something. I'm better preparing myself for the day. I'm better organizing my thoughts for the day. Taking 15 minutes now to meditate is going to make it so that I am more productive the rest of the day. And just giving your mind that chance to either rest or get your thoughts focused and move forward with your day.
That's the best comment of the evening, because those of us who are so focused on accomplishing things see it as I'm stopping. Yeah.
Getting ready.
Yeah.
Getting ready. You're preparing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Shalene, it took me a while, especially the morning. The night was not so hard because it would calm me down and help me to get to sleep. But the morning, to do it so that I could then focus on what I had to do was tough for me to get, because we wake up thinking, oh, gotta get going.
Yeah.
And we do, but meditation really helps you to focus and achieve more.
All right. I'm going to have to give it a chance now. I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow.
And I would try a couple of different ways. And I found that for me, at least initially, because it is hard for me to sit and do nothing for a little bit, I would do it in the shower. Just 5 minutes in the shower, use the physical water to help me with the visualization of grounding and washing away my limiting beliefs, washing away my negativity, washing away anything that was holding me back, and then being able to step out of the shower refreshed and with all the negativity literally washed down the drain. I can step out
it.
and start the day.
Good way to start. Oh, thank you so much. You had so much great information in there. That was amazing. Thank you. Any questions or any comments that anybody else has? You're amazing. Thank you, Tamara. And we just love having you join us. Thank you so much for your time and your preparation. Really appreciate it. Next week, Leanne is going to actually tell us her story from illness to wellness. And I think it's kind of interesting that I saw a picture of her on Facebook today, and it was a picture of her and her mom. And I don't know her mom, so this doesn't mean any negativity. I just saw Leanne next to her mom and just thought, wow, Leanne looks so healthy. She just was raised. And I thought, that's not how she looked when I first met her. 4 to 5 years ago, she was not well. And so I'm really excited next Tuesday night to hear her story. She's calling it From Illness to Wellness. So it'll be interesting to hear that next week. And if you'd like to stay on for a few minutes, I've just got a few fun tips for the business meeting tonight. So happy you all joined us tonight. And if you need to pop off, pop off. And I'm going to stop our recording, and then I'm going to